Welcome to In the Spotlight, the flagship podcast of all things Barvé. I'm your host, Maya Barvé, and I have a terrific show for you this week. This is the OG special, where I talk with one of the original Barvé generations. This week it is Madhukar Barvé, affectionately known as Madhukaka to many. He is, of course, my uncle. He is my dad's elder brother, and number four in the original Barvé 6. I had a great time with this interview because, for a change, I got to do an interview in person or almost in person. Madhukaka was staying at Atul's place in Dallas, so I drove there to do the interview. And I have to say, Madhukaka was very excited to do the interview. He was so excited that Atul told me later that he even skipped his afternoon nap waiting for me just to do the interview. And I didn't have to do much prompting either. As you'll soon see, the minute he saw the mic, he was off and running. We talked for a long time, for a couple of hours, I think, but it was still not sufficient. So I made another trip the next day to capture the rest. This is part one of the interview, where we get to learn about his professional life, including his life in Nigeria. Part two, next week, we'll learn more about his personal life. So let's get started. Let's put Madhukaka in the spotlight.
So, hi Kaka, how are you?
Fine, not bad.
Not bad. You are looking very nice.
So,
So, we are meeting today at Atul's house in the afternoon. तुझे nap
Yeah.
की गरज हाली, so you're now refreshed
yes,
and ready for the session. So that's good. Excellent.
good.
So, there won't be that many people who don't know you when they look at your interview. But just to set the record straight, why don't you start off by a quick introduction? Tell the viewers and listeners who you are and a little something about you.
Well, should I tell the name also?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay. Madhukar Gopal Barvé, aged 87 at present, born on 6th of January 1937. As far as education, I am BCom from Sydenham College of and afterwards I completed a chartered accountancy course, um, registered myself as CA with the institute in 1963 March, and since then I've been working with various company. One first job was GP Kapade and Company. They were the Mr. G.P. Kapadia was the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants since 1949, and it was one of the best income tax company chartered accountants in Bombay. I got the employment there because I had passed both the courses in first attempt. That was the qualification. Because generally the CA result, as you know, is between 3 and 5%. And I passed both the groups in first attempt in 1962 November. So they selected me. My salary was very much low. At that time, I was getting only 400 rupees, which
A
is
month. 400 rupees a
400.
Okay.
400. You see, when I went for interview, one of the partner, Mr. Mehta, he took a pad and pencil and asked me how much I'm getting at that time. So I told him 400 rupees. So he said, 400 rupees? We pay 3 months bonus, 1 month's NPA, means Provident Fund. So it works out to 16 months salary. So 4,800 divided by 16. So it was 300 rupees. So that is how they were calculated. And I said, I can't accept 300 rupees. That won't pay even for my expenses. So give me at least 400, which I am already getting. So they agreed for 400. Probably now, as I look back, they would have agreed for more also. But it was my luck. 400, I was happy. They put me in charge of one of the companies. At that time, their clients were very big people, like Dharam Singh Khatao, our owner of the Khatao Mills, uh, Saraya, Purushottam Das Thakur Das. He was one of the top leaders in cotton, and uh, he was original director of Tata and Steel Company also. So uh, Dharam Singh Khatao, Sumati Ben Morarji, then she was chairman of Shipping Corporation, Sindhya Shipping Company. So I was put in charge of Saraya Group, that is owned by R.G. Saraya, who was at that time um, chairman of the State Transport ST, because it was a Congress government, and being a supporter of Congress, they had to give him uh, some chairmanship. So they were the at that time I got very good experience in taxation. I mean, that daughter of Purushottam Das Thakurdar, she was owning shares. The number companies' names we have never heard. Like you tell me, Kumar Dubey Tea Company. Do you know where it is? Nobody knows. So, but she used to hold, because Purushottam Thakur Das was really a big man in those days. At that time, the Padmavati Saraiya, she held shares worth more than 2 crores. I'm talking about 1964.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. So 2 crores in 1964.
1964 is something unheard. The list of the companies' names and their prices and all the things used to be 3 pages. At least 70 or 80 companies, and holding substantial company. I have seen original share certificates of Tata Iron and Steel Company.
Original, the first issue during from the IPO.
Original
Yeah,
shares
right, right.
signed by Jamshedji Tata.
So how long were you working for this company?
I was working with them for 2.5 years.
Oh, that's not too long. So just two and a
Not
half
too
years.
long.
Okay, okay.
They expected also after 2.5 years, the man goes out.
That was the normal. काय 2 वर्ष
No,
काम करायचे आणि
not contract, but they expected that he
Okay,
will not be happy working.
right.
He will, after getting this experience, he
Yeah,
will definitely expect much more responsibility, like that.
right.
So, whoever there in my seat
Hmm.
before, they
Yeah.
had done for 2.5 years. But in those 2.5 years, after becoming CA, we got a very good experience. It was like training.
Hmm.
Now,
Right.
GP Kapadia had so much influence, or what we call in modern language, what, even with the department, that he had given us instructions that when the ITO calls you for appointment, go there in right time, send your card, and then wait for just 10 minutes. If the officer doesn't call you in those 10 minutes, come back. Then whatever happens, his responsibility.
अरे बापरे एवढा म्हणजे that was how
Yeah,
he's known. He was well
that
known.
was that
Yeah.
is what his card carried.
Wait.
Wait,
What?
what?
Right. Okay. What म्हणतात
Okay.
त्या?
Then I left that. Then I found with our Todorwal Karnal, where I did my articles. They had a recommendation. He recommended the Mota and Hackle. I used to go there for audit. So the directors and all, they knew me. And there was their chief accountant come secretary had just left. So Mr. Todorwal recommended my name, and then I went there, and there I got experience of uh, chief accountant and company secretary. So because of the company secretary, I had to attend the board of directors meetings also. So prepare their agenda, prepare a 3 months report for them or monthly report for them, and then submit it, call the meeting, attend the meeting also. Though I was not a director, I was I had to attend. Then I had to write the minutes of the meeting. Now, as per company law, the minutes have to be written by hand because many times the company secretaries, when a registrar of company is found, the minutes are changed. If it is typewritten, they are changed. So, in order to prevent that, the company law made it compulsory that the minutes of the board of directors meeting should be written by hand. So that is how my career was made slowly, slowly. Then, as usual in Marwadi companies, if you are a chief accountant, they will give you a spy as an assistant. So they had given me one Marwadi chap. Others, his job was to what did Mr. Barvé did throughout the day. Was he talking to his girlfriend or his family people, or he was doing the job? Or if any supplier comes and asks for favors, whether he was doing favor. I mean, his job was just to spy, not exactly spying, but report to the director in the evening whatever has happened in the day. Now, I knew all these tricks. After some time, I found that you see, I had my own system of controlling cash. Since cash book was written, and I never used to go to cashier and check its cash, whether it tallies with the book or not, because that cashier was doing their cash for 3, 4 companies, not one. So anytime if there is shortage in my cash, he can take out and then put it there. So I knew all those. So what I used to do, my control was when the cash balance as per cash book comes down to a particular level. Say we should have 3,000 rupees in hand. So until that cash balance come down to 3,000, I will never write a check for drawing the cash from the money. So one day this fellow went and, Barve साहब तो कभी कैश चेक नहीं करते. He went and told. So director asked me, chairman asked me, अरे ये बोलता है कैश नहीं चेक होता है. Then I explained to him my system and told him also that your cashier is keeping cash not only for my company, but there are so many 3, 4 other companies is keeping cash, and his system is to keep the cash, my cash, in one thali, another company's cash in another thali. So how do I know that he has not taken, when I tally the cash, he has not taken some cash from other thali and put here to make it in. So I will never know then. So this is my system. Barabar. You are right. This is my system of control. So he said, yes, you are right. But thereafter the company was making loss. So after 2.5 years, I left. In 1970 or early 71, I joined as finance manager with forest engineering. The problem with that company was the managing director, he had come up from a very low beginning. Low in the sense, not from company point of view, even family wise. He was working at one time in some Udupi restaurant as a waiter. Okay, if that man goes to California in Berkeley University and gets a management degree, his head becomes big. And that was the problem. He was too arrogant, too hot tempered, and he thought because he has done management course, he knows everything about management, how to manage. But he taught me three principles, what we call it 3M. A manager should be able to manage 3M. Now, what is the 3M? Money, material, and men. So, this is what I learned there. And that was very useful when I joined Covadis. Now, Covadis job, the managing director, Mr. Sagrani, had come to Bombay. He had a friend, and we had a common friend there. So he said, "Are you looking for a job?" He's looking for somebody in Nigeria. Are you
Hmm.
interested? I said, okay, why not? At that time, the African situation was such that Idi Amin, if you remember, had kicked out all Indians from Uganda, and he had not given them any time, just 24 hours to get out of Uganda. So all these Indian, means Patels and Shah, they actually ran to save their life and came to Nairobi. So when I mentioned that I'm going to Africa, everybody in the family said, "Ah, you are going Africa? You don't know? Just now Uganda, in Uganda, they have kicked out every Indian. So one day you will also come with, man, you have wife and two children. Why are you taking the risk?" Then I made an inquiry in my next meeting with Mr. Sagrani. So he told me, "Mr. Barvé, that is in Uganda. We are in West Africa. Uganda is in East Africa. Anyway, you are Indian, I am Indian. So it's not that they will kick you. If they kick you, they will kick me also out. So with my influence, I can always find you another job. Then don't worry about it." So that is how my relationship with Mr. Sagrani developed. That was in India, just one or two meetings.
And then you went to Nigeria. Did you go to? I think you went to Kano first, right? Before you
No,
went to
no, no.
Lagos.
I went to Lagos.
You went to Lagos. Okay.
Lagos. Lagos operation was like this. Um, they had a Covadis restaurant, very famous, very excellent view, because the restaurant was on 17th floor and it had all the window wall on one side from which you can get the complete report view of Kano port, Lagos port, Apapa. So in the night time, the restaurant used to be very full, and there used to be most of the business in day and wind. It was not what I would say, uh, no entertainment, nothing, no music, nothing. Just eat, pay the bill, drink, and pay the bill and go. So the restaurant was not my restaurant. I was hired as a accountant cum manager, and my responsibility was they had two hotels, one in Varji one in Benin. Now I had to supervise. Supervise means I had to check their account and see whether any fraud or anything is taking place. But those were loss making hotels. So for 1 year or so, and it was not their own property, it was rented property. So as soon as the contract finished, they got out of it. But in between, we got another big contract. What we used to do is industrial catering. Now, industrial catering first we got is of Central Bank of Nigeria. Now, Central Bank is, you can say it is as good as Reserve Bank of Nigeria. Okay. So they had about 3,000 staff members, and we used to run their catering in the sense the staff के लिए lunch time and we have to man. They had three levels of operations: junior staff, middle level staff, and executive. Now, executive staff was run. That section was run as if it is a restaurant. That means those executives will come, order their food, then they will be served by waiters and all. Now, junior staff, there you will come, present a coupon at a counter, collect their food, go and eat. The higher level, they had a different menu, but same place, no separate sitting arrangement. So that we used to do that. Now, at that time, being an accountant, not even knowing how to prepare a sandwich, I was put, I was put in charge of that industrial catering. Of course, there were two ladies. One was Mrs. Adele and another was Mrs. Morin. Now, Mrs. Adele, she had done, there is some institute in London. She had done a diploma course for catering in that. So she was literally checked. And I was just looking after supervising uh, purchasing, money management, stock management, and all those more or less related to accounting. But by control, I applied a simple principle. In factory, if factory is running, they called something like to control the stores. They have called ABC system. A means these are the parts in assembly shop. Like say you go to automobile industry. Automobile requires so many stuff. Now A type of parts means they control. If you take those are even not even 10% of the total number, but they control 70 to 80% of the cost. B is little bit. The number of parts are more, but they control only 10 or 15% of the cost. But under C category is the number of parts is huge, but they control the cost only 5 or 10%. So if you control A, automatically your cost is control. If you control A and B, you need not ignore C, but you need not pay more attention to that. So I applied this principle to our catering. Now, so what as far as I am concerned, our A parts were meat, chicken, okay, oil, and rice. Because the four ingredients. Then onion, potatoes, they used to come in under B. And C means meat, salt, then chili powder. They have. So I never used to bother for their cost, but try to control chicken cost, meat cost, and other oil and rice. Once this cost is controlled, so automatically our cost came down and showed in the profit. So Sagrani gave me. He didn't know how I control. He said, this man doesn't know anything about catering, but I'm getting profit. Now, this Sindhi, they have a peculiar system. They don't come and bother you every day, what you have done, what you have not done. At the end of the month, they will say how much money you are giving cash to head office. Because on that basis, they will do all this, their golmaal. So they had, next year, I gave him a system that, okay, you expect 25,000 from restaurant because that is good dinner. I will give 5,000 rupees for the central bank entering. Then in between we got 2, 3 small. Then in next year, he said, Barve, that so and so company is making $1 million profit. Okay. And we are sitting here doing nothing. We are not given getting. So I told him, Mr. Sagrani, they have an organization. We are only two of us. Okay, go and get the organization. I never stopped you. So that is how we started expanding. Now, expanding means what? We got in next 1 year, we got 3 or 4 additional contracts. Now, one was NNPC. NNPC is just like our ONGC, okay, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. And at that time, price of oil had suddenly risen from $3 to $12. Okay, 4 times because of this Middle East war in April. So Nigerians started thinking, we are very rich people. They used to produce 2 million barrels per day. So that means $24 million used to come in the pockets of the government every day. Okay, they had expenses and all on, but still they will be making at least $18. On that basis, the Nigerians started thinking they are very rich people. And the staff made and they appointed Udoji Commission, and the commission gave them 30% increase in salaries. Everybody in Nigeria had to be given 30%. First, they gave it to government servant, but then they brought a law. So even the private companies had to give 30%. The problem was that they gave with the arrears. 9 months arrears with 30% salary. So on one day they got the money. You go to supermarket, there is nothing. You go for buying television, no there. You buy radio, music system, nothing was there. All has gone. So all this and this, they started bringing it from, it's a funny thing. What sin they brought a chartered flight full of brats. Can you ever heard it? So that was the golden time, 73 to 75. And in these 2 years, I increased the business of the company. When I joined, the company's turnover was around 18,000 naira per month. At the end of the 2 years, we made it 40,000 naira profit per month. All happened not in restaurant in my division, industrial catering. So all those trained managers in who had come with catering degrees from Switzerland and all, they wanted to take over my job. He's an accountant. How can he run catering business? So that was the competition internal. So Mr. Sakani said, he's giving me profit. Are you going to give me more? Then everybody will go back. So that 3-4 years was really a golden period in my life. That is the best job I ever had. I would say it was not a job. It was a pleasure to do it.
So let me ask you this, right? Because Meenal has asked a very similar question. She wanted to know, out of all your professional work experiences, which was the best and why?
This
And
was
it
the best.
sounds like this was the best.
This was the
So,
best.
right. So then our follow up question is, professional is one thing, but at that time you were living in Lagos, Nigeria with your family. What was that experience like? Was it also good for the family, or was it only good for the professional side?
I will tell you one thing. As far as family, when the children were away, that was a little bit difficult. But they were when they were back in Lagos, that was also good because Padma had a teacher job and her school was very near. We were staying in Ikoi. You know something about him. We were staying near Avalovo Road, Ikoi, Norman William, and her school was just back up. So it was walking distance. For her also, that was a very happy period because she could teach the subject she loved, physics and chemistry and mathematics, and that too for a higher level of class, means O level. O level means equivalent to our 10th standard. So ninth, 10 means higher student teaching them the subjects you want. So she was very popular as well as she liked the place. Then in the evening, sons were there. Then we shifted to very near. We got a better flat. Our Eco Club course was an hour were just so Atul and Ajay will jump over this fence and the tractor will be coming for minding the grass, cutting the grass, and so on that they will sit and go to Eco Club. So they were also happy because there was swimming pool, as you know. So in the evening they will swim. Squash court were there. So Atul learned squash, playing squash there only. And there was badminton court. So Padma used to go and play badminton. In the evening, when uh, my office is finished, I will go there, have a chit chat with friends and all, and then around 6:30, 7 o'clock, we'll come home. That was the best period. That is the time when Aji and Azoba also had come to Nigeria. And they were staying, as you know, in our house for a few days. They stayed with you, your house also, few days. So our experience in Lagos is very good. I still remember. Those were the really good days. We shifted to Kano. Kano was entirely different. It was very hot, number one. Indian population was small, a small group. Among them, Maharashtrian were only few. That means you can count them on the finger of your hand. Otherwise, Kano was also, but there I was independent. I had to do everything on my own. Money wise, profession wise, and everything.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So you were independent, right? You had set up your own business when you went to Kano. Is
Yeah.
that the time when you set up your restaurant, or was it before that? Because I know you had at one point you had your own restaurant.
You see what happened? I was sent to Kano by Sakalani. Okay. So he was saying, we will establish a factory in Kano. He was not saying that he will establish a restaurant. I had given him the proposal that, okay, look, we can establish a Indian restaurant. There is none. But he said, no, 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 I don't want to get involved. Kano population is very small, expected. So I don't know, will make or not make. So he was not interested. But for 2 years, he did not take any step to. I had given him so many proposals. I had given him proposal to grow vegetables and export it to London, where was a good market. Because London, almost 8 months in a year, imports the vegetables from various countries. Then I had given him proposal to establish a ice cream factory. He liked it. But ice cream factory, I told also, I did a survey and I told him there are 300 petrol stations in North Nigeria. You can keep one ice cream machine on each and you have automatic sale. Okay. But all the people did not want to put money from their pocket. That was the big handicap. And the coup had taken place. So when the coup takes place, the economy, nobody wants to come from outside, bring his money and invest it because there is instability. So in this process, 2 years passed. So I also got fed up. I said, this is not taking place, that is not taking place. How can I manage? And I have to educate. By then they were going and studying in, but Atul had come to ninth standard and ninth or tenth standard, I don't remember. And Ajay also was 1 or 2 years behind. So after that, what to do? And I was bent on sending them abroad for education. So I started. We had, when I came to Kano, I had a permit to establish Indian restaurant with 2 quotas, expected quotas. One I used for Padma, Soshing, and I had my quota back in Sagrani's company. This is how we pulled on. Slowly, then Bank of India, there was a London branch, there was a manager, I don't remember his name, but he was classmate of Madhukar. So when once I was in London, I went and saw him. So I said, I want to establish here, but I want a loan from bank. So Bank of India had a associate bank in which they had a 40% share known as Allied Bank of Nigeria. So he was a director there. So I said, don't worry, I will manage. And he gave us the loan to establish the loan. And that's how, so slowly, all the European expatriates, they were, oh, we want a new restaurant because we are fed up of eating Chinese restaurant. Every day go China. There was only one good Chinese restaurant. So in the beginning, we had a very good turnover. But as usual, I was cheated more by Indians than Nigerians. When I brought cook, they are all eager to go to abroad, but they don't know whether they will be able to do the job. And in a hurry, I made a mistake of selecting Kajane. Now that fellow was a storekeeper in Centaur Hotel at Vileparle. And he and joined because somebody recommended wrongly to me that he's a chef. so he will come to your restaurant. For 3 months, that fellow did nothing. Sit on a sofa. You can ask Atul and Ajay and do that. There were games, catch the parachute fellow and all those things. He played. Still, I paid him full salary for 3 months. When the restaurant started, he told me, "Oh no, I can't put my hand in the tandoor to take out the roti out." This is how we were cooked by Indians. They come as bachelor. I specifically told him, come as this is a bachelor because I can't afford your accommodation and all. They come, but I will pay you some money abroad, which I used to pay from Ajoba, from my rupee account. So that fellow also cheated me. He came as a manager. He was good, but his wife was big-headed. She went to other Nigeria, Indian people, this and this, and how they used to live lavish. So she started pampering. So he left. So ultimately, then we came to conclusion, it is our baby. We have to look. So Padma used to manage kitchen. I used to do outside. So 3-4 years we managed. I managed the restaurant kept the restaurant only because I wanted Atul and Ajay to come finish their American education. So that because to send the money from India is very difficult. And it is much easier, as you know, to send the money from Nigeria in dollars. Now, in that case, before sending, I was hesitant. At that time I was 47 years old. Now, 47 years old, and I had enough saving. But I was thinking this savings will be useful to me when I go to India for my retirement. So we were discussing. There was a manager, Mr. Manwani of Chelaram. So we were discussing. He was sending his son to America to Barclays, California University. So he told me, I said, Baba, I have only so much money. I can't spend it on education. Then what will I do? He called me and gave me a very nice advice, very mature one. He told me, how old are you? So I told him, I'm 47. Okay. How long this your two sons are going taking education? I said about 4 or 5 years. Okay. So from 47, you will become 52. Okay. Suppose all your money is finished. Still from 52, 65, till you can work. You have 13 years. And then, since the education of children is completed, you are free from them. You can save enough for your retirement.
So how long did you have the restaurant?
Oh, say, I sold it in 91. Say from 84 to 91.
Okay,
7 years.
7 years. And by that time, Atul and Ajay came to the US. They graduated. They're done.
They finished
They finished it.
education.
Right.
They
So
finished,
that
I think, 89.
okay.
After 89, I was started looking for people to buy the restaurant. Now, after 91, problem came. What to do? So, at that time, I had a side business of selling parts. Atul knows about it. Those spare parts were for Rolls Royce generator. After the restaurant, we sold it. Then our Appa Kaka's friend Mr. Boot, he was working with one tannery, and he had come as a leather expert, and he was put in charge of the factory. Formerly, he was advisor to United Nations. He worked in United Nations as advisor for leather industry. So he had a very good experience. So he was working with him. When I was about to sell a restaurant, he told me, Mr. Barvé, why don't you come and see our MD? His name was Sammy. They used to call him Samuel Lexil, a Jew person but settled in Geneva, Switzerland. So why don't you come and see? We want a good accountant because he had brought one Mr. Bhole. Now Bhole, Josna Bhole, तिचा मुलगा. The Josna Bhole was very famous singer in India, very famous. So her son he had bought, but he could not deal with Nigerians. To deal with Nigerians, you need special category. So he could not. So they sent him back. So he said, "Why don't you come and see Samuel?" He said, I don't know him. Do you mean to say I should come to him and tell me I'm looking for a job? Give me a job. So my 50% value is gone. No, 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 no. You don't do that. He will speak. So he spoke to Sammy Lexil that look, I have a charter accountant and you are known. He is experienced in Nigeria because he is in Nigeria for almost 20 years or more than 10, 15 years. So he said, oh, that's good. We would like to see him. And that is why he introduced me to. So I went and he said, Sammy has called you to see him. So I went and saw him. So we talked. So I said, okay, we will pay, but how much salary you want? So Mr. Bhutat told me, ask for $4,000 abroad because you are qualified. So karta, we agreed because I was also looking for money. So we agreed for 2,500 per month abroad and all local expenses paid. Means car drive, it. Not only that, they used to pay me whatever salary they show in the books. On top of that, they used to pay me another 25,000 naira per month.
And how many years did you do this? How many years did you work for Sammy?
Oh, 2.5 years or something. I left July. That also what this is another story. that Sammy's brother, Julian, his name was Julian. I think he was drug addict. And in Nigeria, drugs are available easily, not difficult to get. So he will come in the morning, go at lunchtime, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, go, and then come at 3 o'clock again. But at that time, you don't know whether he has taken the drug. So, like Rahul Gandhi, when he'll come, he will say anything to anybody. If he has to fire somebody, I will put in a roast you, and do this, do like that. But Nigerian staff, they knew. They were paid well, you see. So they used to quietly here because what else they can do? They cannot get job. Double the salary then. If they will not get even half the salary they were getting here. So quietly they used to And not only that, they used to make a fun of him. When he has gone to factory, inside the factory was huge, employing 300 people. So once he goes to factory, he will not be back for at least 15-20 minutes. So they used to make fun, yeah, fun of him. He came and fired me like this. So they are accustomed to do that, accustomed for that firing. But one day, he never talked to me like that. He never come even to my cabin. But from whatever he could say inside his room, he was firing some my assistant, and he was telling, "Oh, why did you do this?" And something happened. I lost my temper. When he came out, I threw the keys of the safe to him. I said, "You manage your own company. I'm going." Took my car, went home. 3 Nigerians came to see me out. "Mr. Barvé, you have done a very nice thing. We support you." Because they could not do this. Same thing Mr. Botera also told me. He also got annoyed with him one day. Because educated person will not listen to nonsense. Especially when you know you are well qualified, well experienced, and you can get another job anywhere. So one day I lost my temper. I threw the safe keys to him. "You manage your company." Took my car, went home. And then I decided I'm leaving. Then after 3 months, quietly, I left Nigeria, packed all. In these 3 months, I sold my personal things, including whatever is there, sold my car, fridge, whatever belonged to me, I sold it. And quietly bought ticket with my own money, came to Nigeria. Book Sonu and Banjo,
But
uh, and brought them also, and quietly came. Nobody knew in the company that I'm going. It was done so quietly. So next day somebody went and told, "Mr. Barvé has given this key." "Ah, where is he?" "Oh, he is in Amsterdam now." By now he'll be in Amsterdam. Came quietly.
do you remember what year this was when you moved, when you left Nigeria?
It was 95.
95. Okay.
95 July.
95.
So from 92 sometime to 95, I worked with Tanreva. 3 to 3.5 years. But that helped me to have enough money for my retirement.
So how long were you in Nigeria total?
I would say 73 early March
To
to
95.
95 July.
22 years.
22 years.
So overall, you would say Nigeria was a very positive experience for you in your life,
Oh,
right?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. So now, when you think about how your professional life went in Nigeria, and now if you had to give some advice to your grandkids, what they should do in their professional life for in order for them to succeed, what advice would you give them?
If they are managing a business, I told you my role 3 a.m. main material money.
Money.
If they manage these three things, they should be successful.
So now you've left Nigeria and now you're back in India. At that time, did you consider yourself to be retired, or did you look for any other opportunities? Did you look for a job?
I look for a job, but abroad, not in India. I had a opportunity also for Indonesia, but in between Indonesia, same time, a coup happened, and all the Indians had to be evacuated. So that went off. Thereafter, I never saw anything.
So after that, it was just plain retired life in
Nice.
India.
I enjoyed my money.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
was making money in stock market, everything.
Okay.
So I retired and used the money for travel.
So that's a very good segue. Let's now talk about travel, because I know you, Padma Kaku, Atul Ajay, you have done a lot of travel in your life, right?
Yeah.
So let's start. So, what was it that attracted you to traveling? What made you think, oh, I need to go out and no, travel is not travel for work. Travel is to travel and go see
Yeah,
the other
right.
country, right?
You
So,
see what happened
yeah,
in 1976. I got first leave, and our leave was for 6 weeks because Sagrani had a rule that a 3-year contract and at a rate of 1 month per year, you get 3 months leave, right? So he said, after 16 and a half months of really good work, a people cannot work more than that at its stage. So they must go on leave. So my first leave was to India because for the first time I was out, and so I had to come and see all day. But when I completed the second, that means so 3 years, I was given a good bonus, 6 months salary local, plus some money abroad. And then Mr. Sagrani bought tickets for us. I said, I'm taking my children to America for a tour, and I want to show them Walt Disney, hey, Orlando. So at that time I had brought, and then I was really speaking. What I can't describe is awful. I was convinced America is awful. I must send my children here only. It's a land of opportunity, and it is really land of. We may agree on political these views and all, that is different. But America is a land of opportunity. If you work hard, if you know your job, you can go up to sky is the limit.
you found, because that was the first trip you
That was
made
the
with,
first trip.
yeah, you came
I
to
will tell
America.
you. Yes, America. I will tell you. First trip means petrol was 67 cents a gallon. If you go to California, ask for breakfast, $1, 3 egg breakfast, 3 eggs any way you want. Means you can have fried eggs, you can have omelette. Coffee used to be free. In Pizza Hut, pizza used to cost, but there used to be salad bar. That was free. I mean, since then, so much has taken place. Difference. I've seen inflation in America.
So you came to the US and you primarily went to Orlando for
No,
Disneyland. Yeah.
no, we took a route, Orlando, New York, Orlando. No, in between we did New York. We hired a car, and with the car we went to Niagara. Okay, with Buffalo. At that time, if you know this Lina and his sister Wanda, she was in New York. He gave a introduction for car hire. We hired a car. We went to Buffalo. Buffalo, we saw Niagara. Niagara, we came down to Washington. From Washington, we saw Washington and came back to New York. So it's sort of a triangle. Okay. And then from New York, we went to Orlando. From Orlando, we went to Houston. In Houston, they showed us this stadium, uh, this football stadium, big one. Okay. And then there is a fun park also in Houston, something like that. There, it was a circular that what you call
Roller coaster.
roller coaster run. So Atul, went up to climbed the stairs, went up there, and then chickened out and come down because that was really scary. Padma went and sat in the roller coaster. She did the whole. She said, I enjoyed it. But nobody did that 360 degrees. I said, I don't want to go. And then from there, we went to LA. From LA to San Francisco. San Francisco to, I think, Detroit and Denver. I don't know, it was night flight. And came back to New York, London, back to Nigeria.
So that was your first trip, and
Yes.
that's what introduced you to travel. So now, when the occasion came for you to do your next trip, where did you want to go?
I didn't. I said I will go.
Again to America?
So Padma used to get annoyed with me. Why you want to go all the time America? I made 3 trips to America, and in one trip, uh, this Atul and Ajay were their summer vacation. They spent in Switzerland in summer camp. So what we did from Nigeria, we took Swiss Air flight, dropped them in the summer camp, came to London. By Troyes, we came to America, saw for 2 weeks. On our way back, we took Atul and Ajay. But the next trip was very short. We didn't go all the way to everywhere. We saw Yosemite Park. We saw Yellowstone. And only thing that I didn't see that 4 presidents that we did recently. And I made 3 trips, America. So I've seen all.
Yeah. So you've seen all of America, and I know Padma Kaku also like to travel. So apart from America, which I know you like, apart from America, which is the one memorable trip you have with Kaku and Atul Ajay maybe, but which is the one trip outside of America that really you remember very fondly?
That is, I think, I will say Australia, New Zealand.
And when was this? What year was this?
I don't remember exact year,
Okay.
but we
But
did it. That
this was
was
after you had moved to
after that we are not done. We had done only one trip. After that is Egypt.
Egypt. Okay.
Egypt.
So you've done America, then you did Australia, then you did Egypt. So
Egypt.
between Australia and Egypt.
In between we did Switzerland also.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And you remember Australia most fondly amongst all these trips,
Because
right?
of that ice rock.
Okay.
Okay. Because that is in such a desert that for 100 miles you don't see a human being. But they have provided camping facilities so excellent. We stayed in a what they call it, chalet or small room, but it's a covered room, not like a camping site, open tent and all. They used to call it a hut or something like that. But it could accommodate 3 people, 1 double bed, 2 single bed. So we had taken that one because there was another couple of Mankey. Now that is a memorable trip.
Is there a place that you want to visit? Is there any country left that you say I must visit this? Any country left in your list?
One country left is Rome.
Italy. Okay.
Italy means when I joined Nigeria first time in 73, my ticket was Bombay, Rome, Lagos. But in Rome, the flight landed at 6 o'clock in the morning. First visit, it was shivering, even though it was March. So they gave me hotel, but I could not come. And the Nigerian flight was in the night. So what I could see, I think there is a seashore on Rome. I'm not sure, but I remember to have gone to seashore in the evening
Oh,
near
okay.
the. Huh? in the very near to the hotel.
Okay.
Because first visit, I'm scared. Language, no language, nothing except English. So I, I would like to visit.
Yeah. But
We, we had done, we
you have
had
seen,
done
you,
France also.
yeah, because you've seen Europe, right? So you've seen
Not
Europe,
Europe.
I think.
In Europe, what happened? We bought a ticket, railway ticket at Victoria. From Victoria, we went to Paris. Then Paris we saw. We were there for 2 days. After that, Paris, we took the train and went to Switzerland, Geneva. But Geneva, I saw everything. Means Geneva, Zurich, Bonn, and one more city. Even there is a ice cave on top of very high. There also we went.
Rome is the one place that you would
Yeah.
like to see, right? All of Rome. Just
Yes,
Italy or just Rome, or do you want to see all of Italy?
Rome, because I
Just Rome.
heard about it.
Okay.
Padma had gone to Rome.
Oh, she had gone to Rome. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So she used to tell me all that.
Okay.
Rome is
Okay.
like this. You must say this, you must say that.
Chalo. So we've talked about Nigeria. We've talked about travel. Okay. Now let's talk about food. Okay. So I'll ask you certain questions about your food. So number one, which is your favorite dish which you cannot say no to?
It's not a dish,
Okay.
but I cannot say no to cheese.
Cheese. Any specific type of cheese or any cheese in
No,
general?
any cheese.
Any cheese. Acha. So no dish but cheese. That is
Yeah.
your favorite dish. Okay. So then let me ask you this. Which is the one dish of Padma Kaku that you really, really liked the most and you still remember that she used to make really nicely and that you used to enjoy eating?
You are asking this question after a long time.
And
She used to make patties, really good. Patties, boiled potato, stuffed with butter, and sometimes little bit of paneer. But that dish was fantastic. It's a sort of a snack. It's not a dish, but that was fantastic. She used to make in sweet toffle.
ट्रफल येस
Yeah.
मी तेच
You
म्हणणार
must say
होतो
that. Ah,
की मला आठवत आहे दॅट वॉज द वन डिश ऑफ पद्मा काकू जरा रिअली रिअली पायनॅपल ट्रायफल करायची
ah.
शी यूज टू मेक पायनॅपल ट्रायफल
Because one day we had a party in Atal. You know, Nana was on diet, but that day he ate truffle really good. And then when going, Ajit made a remark, काकू पुछळ तू काही नाही केलंस तर चालेल पण ट्रायफल कर. So she used to make that one really good.
because I remember काकू used to like experimenting with the cuisine ती खूप कुक करायची आवडेने कुक करायची चायनीज कुक करायची so remember that is what I watched. So Pattis was the one that you liked the most from her. Interesting. The Pattis. Okay.
She used to make a good pasta also.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now, same question because now you have two daughters-in-law. Okay.
Yeah.
So for each daughter-in-law, what is the dish that you like each one of them to make? So
Oh.
Minal and Prachi.
Minal makes this jalfrezi yesterday very good.
Jalfrezi.
Jalfrezi. But she is experimenting in the sense she is using various recipes. I mean, that means in anything that can go in jalfrezi. Paneer goes, tofu goes, then carrot, this red big pepper, yellow one also, everything. So that's really good. And then other dish she makes good is bhendi. Bhendi.
Okra, bhendi.
Okra.
Acha.
As far as Prachi is concerned, she makes methi, but our type, meaning pither type. You know what they
Pattal methi ji bhat.
ah,
Pattal methi.
adding besan and all. She makes very
Acha.
good, and
Okay.
with lasun means garlic,
Okay.
and then you put 40 tadka on top of it. That's good. She
Okay.
makes very good.
Okay.
That I like.
आणि तुम्हाला असं गोड इन जनरल आवडतं? गोड का नाही? डू यू लाईक स्वीट थिंग्स? लाडू, पुरणपोळी?
No, puranpoli, yes.
पुरणपोळी येस?
Yes.
ओके. पुरणपोळी. आणि ऑफकोर्स बर्वे म्हटलं की मग चिवडा किंवा असं काहीतरी चटपट.
Chivda I like.
हा.
Ah.
आणि पोह्याचा चिवडा का दुसरा चिवडा?
No,
बटाट्याचा?
poeta chivda.
पोह्याचा
The
चिवडा.
Lakshmi Narayana and all the thing I don't like.
ओके.
I'm homemade chivda. And my present I would say cook, she makes very good chivda.
So she knows that you have to have chivda every day, and there's make sure there's always plenty
Not
of
every
chivda in
day,
the house.
but
Okay.
at least when she makes, I bring 1 kilo of poha, and she makes it in two.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what I finish in 7-8 days.
Okay.
Other one after
परत करायचं. Okay.
And we'll have to leave it there for this episode. Join me next week for the exciting conclusion. I'm your host, Ameya Barve, and I will see you next time.